This is a review for The Ultimate Lego Book, published by DK in 1999. Now, you might be familiar with The Lego Book, which came out in 2009 and then was revised and expanded in 2012. But this Ultimate Lego Book, as I said, came out 10 years before. And so I thought there might be some fans who are more familiar with the more recent Lego book and wanted to see how this one compares and if it's worth perhaps picking up to sort of complete your collection. And so what I think is really nice is that these books are definitely similar in terms of their layout and a lot of the content covered, but they're absolutely different enough from one another to warrant each of them feeling unique. I've had this book since I was a child, and as a child, and now again reading it as an adult, I don't like this one personally quite as much as the more recent Lego book. The main reason being that this book features almost no Lego sets and almost no minifigures either. The focus of this book is more on the Legoland parks and sort of scale model building and sort of really the art of Lego in a very pure form, in the terms of these being really construction bricks. And I know there are probably a ton of Lego fans out there who will actually prefer a lot of the stuff covered in this book to the more recent books, which you could accuse of being sort of a bit more like just catalogs for Lego's licensed properties, whereas this book, like I said, has a much more pure approach to this bit, to Lego being a construction tool. So, it starts off with a couple of pages on the company history and development at the start, but then a lot of the book is made up of pages and pages and pages of scale models of mainly just sort of famous landmarks and things. Here's a scale model of the Statue of Liberty made out of Lego. Here's the Sydney Opera House. Here's San Francisco. Here's, Mount Rushmore. And some people, I think, whose focus really is more on model building will really get a kick out of a lot of the stuff in this book, even though I personally didn't, because I was like, I don't want to see the Chrysler building. Where's Gotham City? Bring on some pirate-themed Lego. And there really is just a glaring absence of that sort of stuff. But despite not really focusing a whole lot on the minifigures and system of play, Lego-themed sets, there is also other information on sort of things like of other aspects of the company, things like Duplo, clothing and other toys that the Lego brand produces, various electronic and robotics kits for education and things like that. So while I personally wasn't too impressed with the whole sort of, here's a giant Lego giraffe made out of a bazillion pieces, but one aspect I really found fascinating about this book, and it completely outshines the more recent Lego book, is the information it presents on the Legoland parks. The 2009 Lego book features maybe 8 pages on Legoland stuff. This one is probably maybe half the book or more is about Legoland, and the reason that it shows a lot of that sort of model building, which is often done by Lego's master builders, is because those models are actually being created for the Legoland parks. So this book has a huge focus on Legoland, which I really enjoyed reading. I love theme park design, and with the exception of the Disney parks, there really aren't any books that show a lot of art and design for theme parks. So this was a real treat. It shows concept art for different areas of the park, the design, and talks about so many aspects in all the different areas of the parks. In fact, there were some things that I was reading about that I then tried to go online to look up to find out more information about, and I just couldn't, which I think is actually, it's a bit disappointing, but it's certainly a testament to the quality of the information in this book, that you really are getting. It's not just, because sometimes, like a lot of DK books, it's not very in-depth information, it's just more sort of like fact boxes next to pictures. So it was really good to see a couple of instances where the information really felt exclusive to this book. I'd really love to just see a whole book dedicated to the Legoland parks, because this book was published in 1999. So there's been almost 20 years of history and growth for the Legoland parks since then, so it'll be really great to see a book just focusing on the parks. And another thing I'm really hoping for is a book on Lego art and design, as in the concept art for Lego, because this book, like I said, includes a couple of concept illustrations for the theme parks, and then there's I think maybe one picture of concept art for one of the Lego Rock Miner sets. And then the 2009 Lego book only has a 2-page spread on designing a minifigure that has a piece of character concept art, which is something that I was hoping for that neither of these books really delivered on, which is that sort of concept art and the artwork produced by Lego, because the thing is, for each of the areas of their parks and for every single theme and set they produce, the company produces hundreds and hundreds of concept art and design pieces, and finding those even online is extremely rare. So I'm really hoping that one day we'll see a really great book on the design works and artworks produced by the Lego company. So I think the more recent Lego book is much more fun. It covers a lot more stuff, but having said that, there is absolutely a huge wealth of material to be found in this book for sort of the hardcore Lego fan and historian, which is why to the majority of the people, if you only want to get one, then I definitely recommend the more recent Lego books. But if you are the hardcore Lego fan, if you are the completist, the historian who wants some really great insight that you're honestly not going to find anywhere else, this book definitely has enough of that to warrant you tracking it down.